Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of JJD Type Vocal 14 Traits of Military Leadership. And today we get to talk about a very special trait, at least to me. The trait that we're going to talk about today, let me tell you guys, it's been the bane of my existence in a lot of situations because it's so much of who I am that sometimes it even creates conflict because of this particular trait. And yeah, today we get to talk about the trait of loyalty. But before we get to that, guys, welcome to the 12th episode of JJD Type Vocal. This is our 13th trait of military leadership that we're going to be talking about today, the trait of loyalty. I know that the numbers don't kind of make sense. We had a double feature and some episodes that we skipped in between, so we had to go back and re-record those. So if you're just tuning in and this is the first time that you get to hear about the JJD Type Vocal 14 Traits of Military Leadership, make sure that you go check out the other videos that we have on the channel. We have some shorts on TikTok, etc. So go check out exactly what this crazy subject that we're talking about is. And the reason why we cover the 14 Traits of Military Leadership in this channel, guys, is because as a businessman, I'm a former Marine. I left the service. I'm dedicated to doing my business now on a full-time basis. And one thing that I discovered when I came in is that a lot of those traits that were taught to me and shown and sharpened in me when I was in the service translate to the world of business in the civilian world. And if every business leader out there was, or it's able to maybe not master all 14, but at least incorporate all 14 of the traits into their leadership style, I think that they'll be able to achieve great success in their business. So today, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be reading a few things, so if you guys see me looking to the side, it's because I have my second monitor here. So, because this topic is so deep to me that I even have notes that I wanna go over. And guys, let's get right on it. Loyalty. So it says here, loyalty is a precious trait of leadership, not just towards your team, but towards those above you. For example, Grace Murray Hopper said that leadership is a two-way street, loyalty up and loyalty down is the saying that she says for one's superiors and the people that you care for, right? Or something like that. Don't quote me on it because I didn't write that one down, sorry. But it's something like that, right? That's one of the best qualities of leadership is you having the ability to become loyal to the people that you're serving, to your unit, to your crew, to your business, etc. Look, guys, loyalty, it's everything in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. I'm a big follower of John Maxwell. I paid, for the courses. I went and trained for the certification to become, a part of his team. And one of the things that I've learned from becoming an avid reader of his material is he says that leadership is influence, right? Nothing more, nothing less. And why is influence such an important piece of the leadership equation? Why is it everything? It's because influence breeds loyalty. I believe in that so much you would not believe, guys. See, when you become a person of influence, for example, let's say you have influence over somebody else's life, eventually you influence them so much that they develop this sense of loyalty towards you, and then you're able to impact their life in a greater way. If you have a lot of influence over someone and they become loyal to you, it's very rare that you'll find a group, team, or business that has no synchronicity, because loyalty doesn't allow for people to get off the bandwagon, for lack of a better term. When they become loyal to you, when you enact so much influence over the people that you're leading, they become loyal, and therefore loyalty gets results, because now people are going to want to do things not so much because they got to, but because they want to, because they're like, man, this person that's leading me, they've done so much for me, they've influenced me so much, I want to stay loyal to them, so I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I help them. And they go out of their way to do things for you that otherwise maybe they wouldn't do. I'll read some things that I took on my notes, okay, guys? The first thing that I want to talk to you guys is about what loyalty in the military context means. I'll read a quote that I found over here. says, look, loyalty is exemplified when a leader consistently demonstrates unwavering support to their subordinates. It's about being there for your team, providing guidance and encouragement when they face adversity, and ensuring they know that their well-being matters. General George S. Patton said, if you can't get them to salute you when they should salute and wear the clothes you tell them to wear, how are you going to get them to die for their country? This is a very deep quote, okay, because it has a lot of weight to it. For those of you that serve, you guys know that some of us have lost people in the service. Some of us have lost people in deployments. They pay the ultimate sacrifice. And when you look back at these people that have passed in war or whatnot, you hear all the time them talking about how they were hard chargers, they were always committed to the cause, spirit the core, etc. Right? And those are people that usually pay the ultimate price because they're so loyal to who they are, to their beliefs, to the system, to the military, to the unit that they're part of, that they would rather die than betray them. And when I mean betrayal, I don't mean like, oh, they're gonna go out of their way and talk to the enemy. No, what I mean by that is that they are so loyal to the unit and to the people that they serve that they would rather take a bullet than let one of their buddies, for example, get hurt. That's the kind of people that the military, by the way, have, that become extremely loyal. And I love that this is a quote that's coming from a general, because General S. Patton saying that if you cannot get them to salute you when they should salute and wear the clothes that you tell them to wear, how do you expect to ask them to die for their country? Man, in the world military, this is when influence, by the way, has a big role into the loyalty aspect of what we're talking about. Because let's say you have, for example, a young lieutenant. And this happened to me in my career a few times where I had young lieutenants come into the organization and they were people with really bad attitudes, or they had like crazy ideas, or they were the type of officer that would say, hey, what I say goes and your opinion doesn't really matter anymore. And they kind of had this air about them, it's gonna be my way or the highway, right? Those officers usually have struggle getting their units to become competent because they were always battling the culture that was created in the unit, and those officers never lasted. They very rarely ever lasted in the unit. They will come and they will be gone in a year or so. And there were officers that will come in and they will stay in the units forever. Long after I was gone, they will still be there because they were able to influence the unit in such an impactful way that people didn't want them to leave. They're like, man, you gotta stay. They became so loyal to them. They will work extra hours without, excuse my French, but without bitching and moaning or complaining. They would just get the work done because they knew that their commander had their back and they would do whatever it took. They became loyal to this person. Okay? So you have to develop this idea, or not this idea, this culture, for example, in the world of business, where if people are being influenced by you and they become loyal, they want to go the extra mile, not because you're asking them to, or because they have to, but because they want to do it. It comes out of them to always be there for you. Well, because they become loyal to a fault, and I'm going to talk about becoming loyal to a fault here in a little bit, because that's one of my biggest problems right there. Now, it says here, leaders can sometimes mistake loyalty with favoritism. One common misstep is favoritism. So this is how leaders can sometimes make mistakes when it comes to loyalty. One, favoritism. Treating certain individuals preferably can mess up the trust and can create division within a unit, within a workspace, within a business. The leader, you as a leader, you gotta be able to recognize the importance of treating everybody fairly and impartially. Now, you gotta foster an environment where everybody feels valued. That is such a key thing. By the way, it's a huge mistake in leadership that people break loyalty on the organization as a whole because they start becoming or picking favorites. And you can see it on the way that they act towards people, on the way that they talk about certain people. You can feel them on even how they greet you sometimes, that they are excited to talk to some people, and not so much to talk to other people. And I've always had this battle. Okay, this is an internal battle that I've always had when it comes to loyalty. Because if we're supposed to be impartial with everybody, then where do feelings go, right? And we're supposed to be in control of our feelings and emotions as leaders, particularly. That's one of our roles. But then you got people that they are extremely disloyal to you as a person or your system or your business. And those people, you gotta cut them off. You really do. It sucks, man, because you gotta love on everyone. You gotta cut them off. Also, the way you see there's a loyalty problem in an organization is when there is no synergy. When you have some people that are negative towards the things that you're doing and some people that are extremely positive about the things that you're doing, there's no synergy. And by the way, neither the positive person or the negative person are loyal to you, because what they're being loyal to is being loyal to their own egos. The one that loves what's going on, maybe they love it because it's gonna be a benefit to them. And the one that hates it is because it's going to be a detriment to them. So they put themselves in front of the organization, the team, etc., because there's no loyalty. There's zero loyalty in that group. It's every man for themselves. Okay? How does that happen? That happens, for example, through favoritism. When a person would rather go spend some time with certain people, just because there's situations where if some people are loyal to you, you gotta become extremely loyal to them, because loyalty is a rare commodity, by the way. So if you have certain people that they are very loyal to you, you spend time with them because you want them to become part of your inner circle, that's acceptable. But then with the general populace, you cannot show at all that favoritism. You can't. It sucks. It's hard to do, by the way, because you gotta be like so political sometimes about it that is disgusting. But it's what's going to cause a synergy in your organization and allow everybody to feel as part of the team and therefore do more. You breed more loyalty. Another mistake that people can do and they fall into when they address breaches of loyalty within their ranks is that loyalty is a two-way street. While loyalty is a two-way street, there are any instances where there is disloyalty. Gotta handle those quick. Ignoring them just causes you to undermine yourself, your leadership, or the morale of the organization. So gotta make sure that you address this loyalty immediately. How do you address it? I already said it. Cut people off. You gotta cut them off. Or if a person is typically loyal to you, but all of a sudden they are not, what you need to figure out is what happened, what changed in me that's causing this person that is typically loyal to now not be. This is, by the way, where responsibility, remember that trait that we talked about, having responsibility kicks in. Because if you know that your job is to breed loyal, hate the word followers, but loyal followers, and that is not happening for one reason or another, the problem doesn't lie with the other person, the problem lies with you as an individual. You are not able to create people to become loyal to you. You are not able to influence them enough for you to have an impact on their life. And because there's no loyalty or there's no influence, there's no loyalty, people will always put themselves first. When you create loyalty, guys, one of my mentors said this, and I love when he said it. It didn't make sense at the time when he first said it to me. I had to ponder on this. I pondered on this a while. He said that people, for example, the part of loyalty, when it comes to emotions, it all has to do with you as an individual. Okay, it's always a personal thing. So when it comes to loyalty, a person that is loyal, they'll be loyal regardless. It's who they are. They're just loyal. That's it. It's their thing to be loyal. That's one of my issues, by the way. It makes me sometimes sick to my stomach because in my mind, when I have, for example, someone that has influenced me in a way, I become very loyal to them. And then if I have somebody else that also became good friends of mine, or they did things for me, or they were there, and I became loyal to this other person, and then all of a sudden that guy and this other guy or gal that I'm loyal to, they are at odds with each other, I struggle with it because my nature is to be loyal. And then I have two people that I'm loyal to because that's my nature, and they are at odds with each other. And then here I am in the middle of both of them, trying to stay loyal to him and stay loyal to him or her. And then if there's clashes, you find yourself almost always trying to put out the fires between the two, or trying to fix someone's mindset while maybe another one's mindset maybe you agree with, or vice versa. And you always feel like you're being disloyal to one or the other, right? But what I learned is that loyalty has to do with me being loyal to me, to my principles, to who I am as a person. Can't be loyal to nobody else unless I'm loyal to me first. And when it comes to, for example, the synergy of the team, if I am loyal to other individuals, because again, loyalty being a two-way street, and those two individuals happen to be at odds with each other, the best thing that you can do is first get them to address it between themselves. But if they can't, for whatever the reason, there's no loyalty there anymore, there's maybe not even respect in that relationship anymore, then you have to determine a way to kind of cut both of them off from your life, and you focus on bigger things. Now, a great friend, what they'll do is they'll try to get them back together, or try to have them fix their relationship. Sometimes you just don't have the mental prowess or the mental energy to be dealing with it. So what I do is something that I learned on a TV show is called avoid and override. If someone's being disloyal to another person that I'm loyal to, and the same happens from the other side, I just say, look, I'm gonna ignore that and ignore that. I'm not gonna entertain that conversation. That's between the two of you. Do not include me. And it becomes even more challenging, by the way, where you see maybe some things that are being said by someone that's being disloyal, and you have no choice but to agree because you also see them. They're very evident, but you never say anything because, again, you don't want to be disloyal. It becomes extremely hard because now you're fighting not only the loyalty nature of you as an individual, but now you're also fighting with the facts that you're looking at. And you're thinking like, man, this is, for example, let's say this is my leader. I need to be loyal to my leader. Therefore, I don't have to bite my tongue of whatever things I disagree on and follow because I'm being loyal. But then somebody else brings up things that maybe they were a concern for you, and they are at odds with that person, and there's zero loyalty between him and my leader, for example. Now, if that person is loyal to me and I'm loyal to them, I find myself battling like, okay, so what do I do now? Because I'm loyal to my leader and I'm loyal to this guy, but they're not loyal to each other. And they're having problems, situations, and I kind of even agree with this guy. I gotta ignore and override. Ignore and override. Best quote, by the way, from a TV show that I ever picked up. So, guys, this trait of leadership will determine success in the military and business. Loyalty is everything. If you cannot get your subordinates to be loyal to you, to your organization, to your mission, to your system, you're always going to be leading a bunch of individuals. And individuals never accomplish anything great. Teams do. So our job and our role as leaders is to create a culture where people feel that they have to become loyal, because if they're not, they're missing out on the greatest things that are to come. We do that by creating an environment where people are feeling good about themselves, they feel inviting or invited to it, and we create that by influencing people, by the things that we do for them, so that we can generate more influence over their life, and then eventually that influence turns into loyalty. If you're able to amass a group of people that are loyal to you, by the way, nothing can stop you, because those people that become loyal, they'll go with you anywhere and everywhere. If you change companies, they'll follow. If you start a new business, they'll follow. If you have an idea, they'll follow. That is the power of disloyalty. It's the opposite. If people are disloyal, then nothing works. You come up with an idea, there's always opposition. You leave the company and they're glad you did. That person, that we'll call them leader, will never achieve anything great, because they're always going to be battling individualism. When our biggest feat as leaders is to create a cohesive unit and attack a goal and make it happen. Just make things work. So Guys, that is the trait of loyalty. Apologize if my tone was a little low today. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so I'm trying to keep my voice. But that's it. We are one more trade away from finishing the JD type vocal series. And we're gonna be thinking about what the next one's going to be. But the last episode of this series is going to be a podcast where my goal is to bring some of you even that maybe comment here in the chat into a group video, and we get to discuss all 14 traits and how implementing using them and embracing some of these traits have helped you in your business, in your life, in your military careers, and how you can teach that to other people so that they can also get the same results you have. This is Jamil. Hope you guys are having a great rest of your week. Thank you for watching. See you next time.